Okay, good afternoon to all of you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, so we have already completed the chapter number 1 in the first session, right? Okay, so now we are starting the chapter number 2, but before starting the chapter number 2, let me share one thing with you. Okay, so as we have completed the chapter number 1, and today I'll share the PPT of chapter number 1 with you in the e-content. So you can go through it once, and I'll also share the e-book, which I want to share it with you. So here, if you can see this e-book, so this is of author Cruz and Rose, right? Where you can find all the topics that we have discussed in the class. Almost all topics are there. So let me just share you the PPT also, in which you can find the topic. But in the PPT, the topic are given very brief, right? As you can see, the topics are very brief in the PPT. If you want to go in detail of all this topic, you will get all this topic in detail in this book. So this is the first chapter. Let me just open that. So yes, as we have already discussed, what is protocol, right? After that, we have discussed one human analogy that is also very finely explained in this book. So you can just go through this book and you will really enjoy, because the terminologies used here in this book is very simple, right? You will get everything. So I'll share this book with you in the e-content, right? All things are covered in this book, whatever we have discussed in the class, right? वो सारी चीज में यहाँ पे कवर हो ही जाती है, almost everything. But if you still feel that there are certain topics which are not given, you can let me know, right? The transmission media that we have discussed, guided media and unguided media, is also discussed in this book, right? All the guided media sub media are also discussed: fiber optic cables, coaxial cables, twisted pair cables. You can see here, right? Then the concept of switching that we have discussed in the first chapter, first session today. So that also is there in this book: packet switching and the circuit switching. right? Then after we have discussed the delays, we have also solved some problems of the delays, that is also discussed in this. सिक्वेंशियल मैनर में नहीं दिया होगा, बट हाँ सारे टॉपिक्स है वो कवर हो जाते हैं ऑलमोस्ट, right? All types of delays is also given. You can see here types of delay: processing delay, queuing delay, transmission delay, propagation delay, right? All these things are given. Then after transmission mode भी दिया हुआ है, end to end delay. Then throughput we have discussed, that is also given. Then layered architecture, as we have discussed two models, that is a OSI model and the TCP/IP model. So that models are also explained in this book, as you can see here. सारे layers है वो डिटेल में explain किए गए हैं. If you see the TCP/IP model, then all the 4 or 5 layers of TCP/IP is discussed in detail, and OSI भी यहाँ बहुत अच्छी तरीके से explain किया है. And the concept of encapsulation is also given. और कुछ चीजें है वो एक्स्ट्रा दी गई है, बट you can ignore if you want, right? So in this book all topics are very explained in detail and in the simple terminology, right? Simple terminology use की गई है, so you can refer this book for this subject. और साथ साथ पीपीटी रिफर करते रहना, क्योंकि उसमें सारे टॉपिक्स दिए गए हैं, सो आपका एक भी टॉपिक स्किप नहीं होगा, राइट? सो दो अगर पढ़ने के लिए बैठ रहे हो तो दोनों को साथ में लेकर पढ़ना, क्या ताकि कोई भी टॉपिक भी मिस ना हो पाए, और यू कैन गो विथ ऑल द टॉपिक्स टू ऑल द टॉपिक्स इन डिटेल, राइट? So today I'll share this notes with you in the e-content, and we'll now start the unit number 2, that is application layer.
Madam, can you share both PPT and textbook, madam?
Yes, I'll share both the things, ebook and PPT as well. Okay, so now starting with the second chapter. Okay, so I think my screen is visible to all. Okay, so in the first chapter, we have discussed all the basic topics of the computer network, or we can say that was all about the introductory part of the computer network, where we have discussed all the basic topic, right? All the basic topic that we have already discussed in the chapter number 1. Now you are already aware of a few terminologies which are used in the networking, right? कुछ ऐसी टर्मिनोलॉजीज है जिसके साथ आप अवेयर अब हो चुके होंगे. सपोज if I talk about the transmission media, so if I'm saying the guided media, so now it's not required to say that the guided media is a wired media, right? Or it's not required to say that fiber optic cables, coaxial cables, twisted pair cables, that comes under the category of guided media, right? Now you are already aware of all this. right? So there are certain things, there are certain basic terminology that we have already discussed in the chapter number 1, so I'll not repeat it again and again in the chapter number 2, right? Still, if you feel that I'm not getting this point, you can interrupt me in between. Okay, so the second chapter is about the application layer, right? Now we have discussed the two models in the chapter number 1, that is a TCP IP model, and the second model is OSI model, right? In both the models, we have seen the application layer is the topmost layer of the OSI model as well as the TCP IP model, and it is the only layer which can directly communicate it with the user, right? Application layer is not an application, we cannot say it's an application, but it performs all the functions of the application layer. It can perform all the functions which is related to the applications, right? So as we all know that at the core of the network application development, we are the software developer writes a program, right? So what are the things that should be taken care while developing any program, right? The developer must take care of certain things, such as whatever the application, whatever the software they are building, that software must run on a different end system and that can communicate with each other on the network, right? Now for example, if I say in the web application there are two distinct programs that are communicating with each other, right? The first program is the browser program, which is running on the user host, right? That host can be a desktop, laptop, or we can say PDA, then cell phone, etc., right? And the another program which is running on the server side, that we call it as a web server program, right? Which is running at the server side, right? Now what happens in this case? Now if we relate it with the application layer, then one thing we can say, the program running on the host side and the program running on the server side, that we call as a server program, they both are communicating with each other, right? But we cannot say programs are communicating, we are saying process are communicating, right? Generally in the general terms, we are saying that the device are communicating with each other, but in the networking terms, if we want to say this, then we can say process are communicating with each other, right? As the other example, if we say in the P2P file sharing, there is a program in each host that participates in the file sharing communicating, right? Community. So in this case, we can say the programs in the various hosts may be a similar or identical, right? So when developing any application, the software developer needs to keep in mind that whatever the software, whatever the application they are developing, that runs on a different end system, that they can communicate with each other on the network. Second thing, the application or the software should not be like that it works only on the networking core devices. Networking core device मतलब hub, switch, router. कोई सॉफ्टवेयर या कोई भी एप्लीकेशन सिर्फ ऐसी नहीं होनी चाहिए कि सिर्फ नेटवर्किंग कोड डिवाइस पे ही चले. इट शुड रन ऑन द डिफरेंट एंड सिस्टम एज वेल, right? Now the software can write the program in any language based on their command, right? C++, we can say Java, Python, किसी में भी लिख सकता है. But there are certain things that needs to keep in mind, right? वो सॉफ्टवेयर या वो एप्लीकेशन ऐसे नहीं होनी चाहिए कि सिर्फ नेटवर्क कोड डिवाइस में ही चले, right? It should run on every end devices, right? So for that we need to understand some architectures that requires to build the application or to build the software, right? Now before we divide the software coding, you should have a broad architectural plan for your application. Now keep in mind the application architecture is distinctly, we can say it's quite different from the network architecture, right? We can say there are we can 5-layer internet architecture that we have already discussed, or we can say the TCP IP model, right? That we have already discussed. So from the application developer perspective, the network architecture is fixed and provides a specific set of applications. Network architecture होता है वो fix होता है and it provides certain, we can say, specific services to the applications. But जो application होती है, the application, the architecture of the, we can say, the application architecture is, we can say, designed by the application developer, and it dictates that how the application is structured over the various and systems, right? वो and system के मुताबिक वो वेराई होती रहेंगी, बट जो नेटवर्क आर्किटेक्चर है दैट विल बी फिक्स्ड. जो नेटवर्क आर्किटेक्चर, जो हमने ऑलरेडी जो मॉडल्स डिस्कस किए थे फर्स्ट चैप्टर में, दैट इज अ TCP/IP मॉडल and the OSI model, that is fixed. We can say that architecture is fixed and that provides some specific set of services to the application. But if we say about the application architecture, it will be designed by the application developer, and it dictates that how the application can be run over a different end system, right? Now for that, we have two types, mainly two types of architectures we have. First is, we can say, the this is all that I have said, right? We have mainly two types of the architecture, that is a client server architecture, and the another one is peer to peer architecture, right? So we'll discuss one by one what is client server architecture and what is peer to peer architecture. So let's discuss about first the client server architecture. So one thing we can say, client server architecture. So from the name itself, we can say there will be two entity that plays role in this architecture. First is client and the another one is server, right? Now there is, we can say, the always the server, we can say, whatever the request that is we get from the server get from the client, server will process that request and send back the request to the client. Now अब ये सिनेरियो में क्या होगा, दोनों होंगे तो होस्ट ही, we can say there is always on host that we call it as a server, and the host which is always requesting, that we call it as a client. Now the client host can be either sometimes on, or we can say it is not on, or we can say it is always on or it is sometimes off. But if we give if we say about the server will always 24/7 on to provide a services to its client, right? सर्वर को हमेशा on ही रहना पड़ता है, right? 24/7 वो on ही रहता है, because it server don't know that at which time the client will send and request to them, right? So server is always on. So if I give the example, then we can say the web application for which an web server is always on. It provides the services as per the request of the client, right? So when the web server receives the request for an object from any client host, it responds by sending the requested object to the client host. Now here we should note that in the client server architecture, client do not directly communicate with each other. That we need to keep in mind. Now let me just show you a simple diagram of the client server architecture. Yes. So if you look at this architecture, you can see here in this network, there are mainly four hosts. You can see here there are four hosts. That host can be a laptop, it can be a PC, it can be a PDA, it can be a mobile phone, right? Host कुछ कोई भी हो सकता है. So here one thing you can notice that let's say that this host wants to communicate with this host. I think you can see my cursor, right? Let me just copy this image so you will not get distracted. Yes. So if you see this, let's say that if this client, or we can say if this host wants to communicate with this host, so how the communication will take place? So first of all, this client will send a request to the server, right? And then server will process that request, identify the IP address of that specific device whom the message is concerned with, and send that request to the destination host, right? This is the destination host, this is the source host where the request has been originated, right? So here we can say the source has originated the request from this point, and the destination host is this point. So source will send the request to the server, server will process that request and send that request to the destination host. Now, as and when the destination host will receive the request, if the destination wants to send back a reply to the host, so first of all, that reply will go to the server, and the server will send back a response to the client. So यहाँ पे server क्या काम करता है? Server act as an intermediate node, we can say, right? Server यहाँ पे intermediate node के जैसे काम करता है. So here one thing we can say that here the clients are not directly communicating with each other. If the client wants to communicate which are with other clients which are there on the network, so first of all, that request or that communication or the message will be passed through the server first, and server will forward the message to the destination client. So here uh, you need to be clear with this, that here the clients are not directly communicating with each other. Another characteristics of the client server architecture is that server has a fixed and a well-known IP address. Fixed address, that is called as a IP address. So here one thing we can say that the server has a fixed address and the well-known address, which is referred to as an IP address, because one thing we can say that the servers are fixed, right? Server is always on, और सर्वर का जो एड्रेस है वो चेंज नहीं होता है, क्योंकि अगर सर्वर का एड्रेस चेंज होगा सो हर एक क्लाइंट को कैसे पता चलेगा कि मुझे रिक्वेस्ट कहाँ पे भेजनी है, राइट? लेट्स से दैट इफ देयर आर 4 clients on the network and 2 more clients are added on the network, so how that newly added client will know that the server has changed its address? So we can say server has its address, server has a fixed address which is known as the IP address, because server are always on and needs to fulfill all the requests which they are getting from the client, right? So we can say client can contact the server by sending a packet to the server address. So that's why it is referred to as a client server architecture, where server plays a very important role, and we can say whatever the communication that take place between the clients on the network, that can be done by with the help of the server, right? Then next is we can say that there won't be a single host, right? सिर्फ एक host नहीं होगा, क्योंकि if there is one single host is there, then a single host is incapable of keeping up with all the requests from its client, right? सिर्फ एक सर्वर नहीं होगा. लेट्स से कि अगर कोई भी सोशल मीडिया की, सोशल नेटवर्किंग की कोई एप्लीकेशन ले लेते हैं, देन it will be, we can say, वो जल्दी overwhelm हो जाएगी, because there are millions of people who are using the social networking sites, right? So that server will be easily overwhelmed if there is only a single server, right? So there are multiple servers, we can say there are many servers which handles the request of the client, and we can say there is a cluster of the server that is referred to as a data center, जिसको क्या बोला जाता है? Data center. If there are large cluster of the servers, then it is referred to as a data center. So we can define data center as a cluster of the server which is referred as a data center. Now, the application services are based on the client server architecture, or we can say often on the infrastructure intended. Right? Sometimes it requires some kinds of infrastructure to establish this kind of services to the users. Now, second is peer to peer architecture, right? So peer to peer architecture में क्या होगा? We can say instead the application exploits the direct communication between pairs. We can say the devices which are there on the network, they can directly communicating with each other, right? That we can say that all the devices we call it as a peers, right? So we can say peers are not owned by the service provider but are instead a desktop, laptops that is controlled by the users. The devices that is under control by the user, that we call it as a peers, right? That is not owned by the service provider. So we can say peers can communicate with each other directly if they wants to communicate, right? And they don't have to pass their message to the server. कोई dedicated server को कोई message pass नहीं करना होता है. The peers communicate without passing their message to the dedicated server, and that type of architecture is referred to as a peer to peer architecture, जिसको क्या बोला जाता है? We can say peer to peer architecture. So let me just show you the diagram of peer to peer architecture. Yes. So if you can see this diagram, you can see here, this is the diagram of the peer-to-peer architecture where all the peers are directly communicating with each other. Right? You can see here there is no any central device which act as a server, or we can say which act as some hold power that needs, if any clients wants to communicate with each other, there is no any central device here that can pass the message to any other client, right? So if let's say that if this peer wants to communicate with this peer, the direct communication will take place. Another thing that we can say about peer to peer architecture, that there is a dedicated point to point connection, right? Now here, what do you understand by the term dedicated point to point?
Means we know where we have to send the signal.
Okay, somewhat near to the answer.
मैम
Ma'am,
हर डिवाइसेस के
ma'am,
बीच
each
में जो
node is connected
कनेक्शन
with
होगा वो
another.
इंडिविजुअल होगा.
Ma'am, each node is connected with individual node.
Okay, each node is connected with its individual node. Okay, so if we are saying the dedicated point to point, इसका मतलब exactly ये होता है कि ये जो लिंक है, जो ये दो डिवाइसेस के बीच में जो लिंक है, that will carry data only for this two devices only. राइट ये जो लिंक है जो डेटा कैरी करती है वो सिर्फ ये दो डिवाइस के लिए ही डेटा कैरी करेगी. अगर तीसरा डिवाइस यानी कि if third device wants to communicate with this device, then it needs to establish an another link, right? अगर ये डिवाइस को ये डिवाइस के साथ कम्युनिकेट करना है, for that a separate link needs to be established for the communication. So if there any link that is established between that two device, that link will carry data for that two specific device only, right? So we can say there is a dedicated point to point connection in a peer to peer architecture. Now one thing that we can say, the one of the most compelling feature of p2p architecture is the self scalability. That means the number of the devices can be added, right? That means if the number of device is added, then that device needs to be connect with every other device on the network. But at one point we can say there is a disadvantage, because यहाँ पे अगर devices हम लोग add कर रहे हैं, then it will be a headache and a tedious task to connect all the devices with the existing ones and the newly added devices, right? Let's say कि अगर मान लो that if there are 50 PCs on the network and 10 more PCs are added on that network, so it will be a headache task to connect all the devices, right? So we can say these things about peer to peer architecture. But yes, यहाँ पे जैसे इसके डिसएडवांटेज है, तो उसका एडवांटेज ये भी है कि यहाँ पे कोई एक सेंट्रल सर्वर नहीं है, right, that manages all the data. So that cost will be reduced. अगर सर्वर है तो ऑब्वियसली सर्वर का मेंटेनेंस कॉस्ट लगता है, राइट? वी नीड टू मेंटेन द सर्वर, वी नीड टू मेंटेन the whatever the transaction that take place through the server, we need to maintain all these things, because servers requires more number of resources, right? So to manage that resources, we require the cost will be increased, right? So here एक एडवांटेज ये भी रहेगा कि इसका जो कॉस्ट होगा वो इतना ज्यादा नहीं होगा. सो मेंटेनेंस कॉस्ट विल बी नॉट हाई इन दिस केस. So we can say peer-to-peer architecture are cost effective, as they normally don't require any significant, or we can say, server infrastructure for the communication between the peers. So this is all about, we can say, the peer-to-peer architecture and the client server architecture, right? Okay. Now, the next topic is, we can say, we have discussed the client server architecture and peer-to-peer architecture. Now, let's say that if any program is there and if it is running on one host, right? So we can say if there is one program running on one host and there is one another program which is running on the another host, right? So what happens in that case? We are not saying that programs are communicating. We are saying that process are communicating with each other, right? Now, when we say the process, there is another concept which introduced over here, that is a port number, right? Now let's say that if there are two hosts on the network, let me just show you with the help of diagram. Let's say this is host A and this is host B. Right? Now there is one program which is running at host A, and there is one another program which is running at host B. Right? Now what happens in this case? In both the host system, the programs are running. Now let's say that if this two system wants to communicate with each other, how they can communicate? So for that we need to know about the port numbers. Now let's say that in a browser, if I open the browser and open the mail application, right? मैं मेल अपने ब्राउजर में मेल ओपन कर रही हूँ और दूसरे जो होस्ट है वहां भी एक जो प्रोग्राम चल रहा है at the host B, and at that side also one program is running, and let's say कि वहां पे भी एक मेल एप्लीकेशन है वो ओपन है, right? So let's say that if I'm composing any mail to host B, right, and if it got that mail, that means we can say that the process which is running on the host A communicating with the process which is running on the host B, right? So basically we can say that programs are not communicating with each other, process are communicating with each other. अब यहाँ पे port number कहाँ पे आता है? So when you open the browser and when you are surfing for any website, it you might have seen that आगे लिखा होता है http:// that means that the http protocol is running in your browser, right? Now here the http stands for hypertext transfer protocol. अभी ये प्रोटोकॉल का काम क्या है, व्हाट इज द वर्क और इज द वर्किंग ऑफ दिस प्रोटोकॉल? ये क्या करता है कि जैसे कोई यूजर रिक्वेस्ट करता है किसी वेबसाइट के लिए, एट दैट टाइम द एचटीटीपी प्रोटोकॉल इज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड, इट विल सेंड द रिक्वेस्ट टू द सर्वर by using an http request message. वो आगे हम पढ़ेंगे कि http क्या है, right? So it will send the request message to the server. Server will get back the reply to the client. But ये जो रिक्वेस्ट गई, जो रिक्वेस्ट जो इसका रिस्पॉन्स मिला, उसके लिए कोई एक प्रोसेस तो होनी चाहिए, कोई एक पोर्ट तो होना चाहिए. सो वी कैन से एवरी प्रोटोकॉल हैज इट्स ओन पोर्ट नंबर. Now let's talk about the HTTP. Then HTTP works on port number 80. ज्यादातर जो HTTP प्रोटोकॉल है वो पोर्ट नंबर 80 पे वर्क करता है. If I say the FTP, then it works on port number 21. Right? So it depends that which application are running on the host system. इट डिपेंड्स कि अगर ये एप्लीकेशन चल रही है तो उसके लिए प्रोटोकॉल जो यूज होता है वो ये प्रोटोकॉल है. सो बेस्ड ऑन द प्रोटोकॉल वी कैन से द पोर्ट नंबर इज असाइंड टू दैम, राइट? सो हियर यहाँ पे हम लोग ब्राउजर पे जो हमारा जो प्रोग्राम है, हमारी जो प्रोसेस है वो ब्राउजर पे हो रही है, राइट? सो हियर द ब्राउजर यूजेस द एचटीटीपी प्रोटोकॉल. So HTTP protocols runs on the port number 80. So here the request will be go through the port number 80 and here the request will be received at the port number 80. क्योंकि यहाँ पे भी ब्राउजर ही ओपन है, राइट? सो ब्राउजर ओपन है, दैट मीन्स कि HTTP प्रोटोकॉल वर्क कर रहा है, राइट? सो दैट मीन्स वी कैन से दैट here the process are communicating with each other with the help of the HTTP protocol, and it can be done by with the help of port number 80. They are communicating with each other at port number 80, right? So we can say process can be process can be thought of, we can say, as a program running within an AND system. When the process are running on the same AND system, they are communicating with each other with inter-process communication. When they are where internally process are communicating, we can say the inter-process communication takes place, right? Now the process on two different AND system communicating with each other by exchanging the message across the network, right? So यहाँ पे क्या होगा, sender जो है वो create करेगा, sending process creates and send message into the network, and the receiving process receives the message and send back and response to the sender. So here the two entities plays a role here, sender and the receiver, right? अगर दोनों को communicate करना है, so for that they needs to create a message. अगर sender को let's say that if the host A is the sender here, right? अभी मान लो that there is a host A and the another one is host B, right? So here let's say that if the host A is a sender and host B is the receiver here. So if the host A wants to communicate with the host B, host A will create the message, send the message to the host B, host B will receive the message, process this message and send back respond to the host A, right? So in this way the process are communicating with each other, not the devices, not the programs. We can say the process are communicating with each other. So this is all about, we can say, the process communication of two different hosts on a network. So any doubt up to this? What about other students? Why they have not joined? Only 48 students are there. I have shared the link with everyone. I have added all of you in the calendar. ओके सो यहाँ तक किसी को कोई डाउट है? Okay, so you can see here there are, I have noted some advantages and disadvantages of this. So features of P2P, we can say self scalability and the cost effective. This is the two advantage that we can say about P2P, right? And for the client server architecture, you can see here that it follows a many to one relationship. अगर आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हो that there are many clients which can request to one server, right? But there is one server here which are which are accepting the request from many clients, right? So the relationship of client server can be many to one, as you can see here in the diagram, right? So there are some advantages of the client server architecture, that is we can say that it has a centralized infrastructure. यहाँ पे होगा जो centralized infrastructure है, that means server is the one here which maintains, which manages the data, which manages the communication that take place between the different devices on the network. And secondly, we can see the security. Security कैसे बोल सकते हैं, that if any unauthorized user wants to access any data during the transmission, they cannot access it, right? So security performance will be better because we can say here the server is managing all this task. So we can say the performance of the client server architecture is better, right? क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो server है that takes care of all the things, the security measures, individual performance, right? That all things is managed by the server here. Fourth is we can say scalability. Now how we can see about what we can say about this scalability. So let's say that if there are 10 number of devices on the network, and if we want to add more 15 devices on the network, so we can add it easily because we need to connect only with the one central device, which is a server here, right? So we can say scalability is scalability is not an issue here, right? Then disadvantage, we can say traffic issues. There might be a possibility that if there are millions of requests arrives at the server side, there may be a possibility that the server will be overwhelmed, right? Or we can say that a congestion problem occurs, right? So there are certain things that comes under the disadvantage. Another disadvantage of the client server architecture, that we can say that if the central device fails, right, if the server fails, then we can say the whole system will shut down, राइट। अगर सर्वर फेल हो जाता है या फिर कोई भी एरर सर्वर के साइड से कोई एरर आती है, देन वी कैन से द होल system will shut down. So that we can say it's the biggest disadvantage of the client server architecture. Okay, so I think it's clear to all of you. So we have started the new chapter, application layer. We have discussed few things about the application layer. Then we have switched to the architecture. Network architecture क्या है, application architecture क्या है, वो देखा. Then we have discussed the two most popular architecture, that is a client server architecture and peer-to-peer architecture. So we have discussed these things. सो टुडे विल कीप अप टू दिस, राइट. इससे ज्यादा नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि बहुत ओवरलोड हो जाएगा. ओके, सो अटेंडेंस. वेट फॉर व्हाइल, ये ओपन नहीं हो रहा है. Just wait for a while. There is some problem. Okay, you just do one thing, write your enrollment number in the chat box. Okay, so if you have written your enrollment number, you may leave the session. હલો. હા 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 ના, મારે આજે મીટિંગ છે 3:30 વાગે. મેડમ બિઝી હતા સવારમાં, એટલે મેડમે કીધું કે મીટિંગમાં પ્રોબ્લેમ જે હોય ડિસ્કસ કરજો. તમારે બતાવવા ક્યારે જવાનું છે પાછું? તમે શું કીધું તું? એ રિકવર કેટલા ટાઈમમાં થશે? મને ખાલી એ કહી દો ને, એટલે મને આઈડિયા આવે મેડમને વાત કરવાની. હમ 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 તો ESC એક્ઝામ જે ફાઇનલ એક્ઝામ છે એ આપી શકશે કે નહીં આપી?